Well, hello there. I'm wearing a button up today, which means only one thing. We are getting into the nitty gritty for today's video. I'm going to be doing my top favorite product out of every single clean beauty brand that I could possibly think of. So if you're ever shopping any of these brands and you need to know what is the best of the best, you got this video. Let's just get started, shall we? I did categorize things in terms of face, cheeks, eyes, lips, and then miscellaneous, so you have some sort of guide throughout this video. I'll put the timestamps so it's easily digestible, but let's get going. Starting with 100% Pure. This is a product that when I first started using clean beauty, I absolutely fell in love with. This is the 100% Pure mattifying primer. In place of silicone, they use glycerin. It gives you a really similar feel, but without the silicone, which is amazing. They also have a Luminous one. I really enjoy both of them. The Luminous one also has that sort of smoothing feel to it. This now has updated packaging on their website. It comes in a little squeezy tube. Still an amazing formula nonetheless, so real gem. Next up, my favorite product from Kosas. This was a really hard one because I really love their Brow Pop pencil, but I think I had to award it to the Revealer foundation. I just use this so much. It's really creamy, it feels amazing on the skin, it has that SPF in it. I always give a disclaimer that it's a little bit thick and you have to sort of thin it out or warm it up with your fingers, but once you get the application down, it's a really beautiful foundation, one of my go-tos, so I had to give it the best of the best award. Next up, Saie Beauty. Even with their new launches, I'm still such a fan of the Saie. This is the Star Glow Glowy Super Gel. This is a water-based glowy product. It's really unique because it is water-based. It feels like nothing on the skin. The pearl in this is so finely milled that it doesn't look glittery or chunky. It doesn't accentuate texture. Great for sensitive skin. Just all around in terms of illuminator, it's everything that I would want. Next up, Exa Beauty. They don't have a ton of products yet because they're a newer brand, but from everything I've tried, I would say that their color corrector, the High Fidelity color corrector, is my favorite. This is the pink one. I really want to get the green one. This is really creamy and brightening. I have it under my eyes today. This shade is nice and bright for fair skin, so you're getting that lifting effect. It is a bit creamier, so the wear time isn't like amazing. If you have drier under eyes, I think this is more suited for you, but I still find myself using this one. So Iris&romeo, brand sold on Credo Beauty. They have skincare and they have makeup, and their makeup is very skincare based. My favorite product I've tried from them, this is so good. I use it all the time. The Best Skin Days. This is a 5-in-1 skincare dewy coverage, broad spectrum SPF 30. This is the shade 1, which is just perfect for me. Essentially, this is a tinted SPF, but unlike a lot of tinted SPFs, it's thin and it blends in like a dream. You don't have to spend so much time like working it in, and it gives you a beautiful satin finish. A lot of the tinted SPFs are just too dewy for me and they just make me kind of look sweaty. So if you're more on the combo or oily side, this is such a beautiful product. I wore this morning on a walk and it just evens out your skin tone while giving you that sunscreen protection. Kind of a hidden gem. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this brand, but I'm interested in trying more from them. My favorite product from Ilia, it's not what I'm holding here, it's similar. It is their Soft Focus Finishing Powder. This is just one of their tinted SPF powders because I currently do not have that powder on hand since I'm trying to go through my other powders. That thing is pricey, but it is so worth it. My under eyes have never looked so smooth. It's also not overly drying, but it also mattifies. It's like, I don't know what they did in that powder, but it is so amazing. Honestly, the best powder I've ever tried for my under eyes. I like to sort of reserve it just for the under eyes to make it last a little bit longer. If you have tried that powder, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Love to know if you like it as much as I do. Next up, LYS Beauty. This is the Triple Fix Serum Foundation. I feel like people do not talk about this enough. This is a beautiful foundation. I have this one on today. This is a skincare based formula. It has hyaluronic acid, turmeric, ashwagandha, cruelty-free, vegan, literally like everything you want. First off, packaging, gorgeous. You do get a pump. Like, this packaging just feels so luxe. The reason I don't wear this a ton is because it's not really like my best match. I'm a little bit tan right now, but other than that, it wouldn't really match me, so I need to pick up another one of this. But in terms of the formula, this is one of the only like dewier, glowier foundations that actually wears well on my skin besides like the Kosas one. It just doesn't like crease up or cake up as much as a lot of other formulas do. And it gives you really good medium coverage, like you're actually getting some coverage from a clean foundation. I do love a lot of their other products, but this is still the reigning queen of LYS. This was a tough one because they have a lot of great products. The blush was like a runner-up for this, but their concealer had to be the winner. This is a thick, creamy, full coverage concealer. I have it on today, which is definitely more rare in the clean beauty space. It's really unique. This lightest shade has an olive undertone, which is perfect. It's LX010. Rose Inc just came out with a new foundation I'll be trying soon. Maybe that will become my new favorite, maybe not. But until then, love this concealer. Wearing it today, it does what it needs to do. Moving into cheek products, we have the Bareminerals highlighter. This is the Endless Glow highlighter. Bareminerals has tons of products. I feel like their cheek products are definitely some of my favorites, and I just really like this highlighter. I have this one on today. This is a light pink. It's just the perfect highlight consistency where it's definitely more on the subtle side. It's not like a super 2016 bling your eyes out type of highlighter. So it's just really practical, and you could tell it's like really well loved. And I love this pink shade. I totally forgot to mention this in the beginning, but this video is inspired by Julia Adams. She just recently posted a video of doing her favorite product in every single makeup brand, which I was like, oh my gosh, that's an amazing video idea. She was like the queen of like the top 3 faves or favorite product in every category. So I really wanted to do the clean beauty version of this because I feel like it's just like the ultimate clean beauty guide. If you ever need to know what's good, you can reference this video. Next up, my favorite from Antonym. I believe this brand is still around. This is such like an OG clean beauty fave. If you know, you know. This is the highlighting blush. This one's in Cheek Crush. First off, this bamboo packaging, plastic free, is just really beautiful. I want to get another shade of this because I got this when I was into like peachy pink blushes, which I have it on today and I still really love it, but I would love more of a cool pink. This is like a blush lighter. It's a blush and highlight in one. It's really shimmery, but because it's baked and really finely milled, it doesn't accentuate texture. It's just one of those products you put it on and it's just like, it makes you happy. It makes you look glowy. It's gorgeous. I love a baked formula, and this, no exception. For Well People, I also had a hard time picking between these two, but this is the Well People Superpowder Bronzing Powder. It was between this or the baked version of their powder just for all over the face. Is really, really pretty. That's a little bit more versatile because I know this bronzer doesn't come in a lot of different shades, but again, it's a baked formula. It does have like a little bit of a silver shimmer in it. Just looks beautiful on the skin. Another one that I used in my makeup today. Bit on the warmer side, but I still feel like I can make it work, and it just feels like a really high quality product. Next up, from Mob Beauty, which is a brand I just recently tried, but this has become my favorite. The Mob Beauty M77 Cream Bronzer. This is like a thin, almost more satiny cream, which I love because it's not overly oily, it doesn't slip around, but it still blends out beautifully. They just really mastered that balance of like, it's not too moist, but it's not too dry either, if you know what I'm saying. And the shade is really beautiful. Looking forward to trying more from them. Okay, Tower 28 was another hard one because they have so many beautiful products, but I had to give it to their classic green blushes that they have. You really cannot go wrong with these. Another classic in my opinion. I love this one in Happy Hour, which is like this bright pink, sort of corally, but mostly like a neutral pink. It's so flattering. They have so many different shades, and this packaging is just super cute. Okay, this was supposed to be in the base category, but I forgot, so oh well. This is from Alima Pure, my favorite from them. This was a no-brainer. Their Satin Matte Foundation. Whether you get the pressed, whether you get the powder, honestly, either one is beautiful depending on your preference. Olive Zero, they have an olive shade, amazing. This loose powder foundation, I usually don't wear it on its own. I like to layer it to add coverage, but even when you do wear it on its own, it has a tendency not to get cakey, which is quite rare. I feel like powder foundations just want to like cake up on your skin. This one is really gorgeous. It's lightweight. If you have like ultra sensitive skin and you can't use most foundations, another really good option because it's literally just like a mineral formula. All right, Rituel de Fille. They have beautiful eye products, but I had to give it to their cheek creams. I actually feel like if you wanted a blush, the Bee Sting formula is a little bit dewier. These are more of like a classic, you kind of have to warm them up type of vibe. So this is Eros, the Inner Glow Cream Pigments are the official name of them, by the way. They just have such fun, unique, like whimsical shades. This brand is super unique and they have a really strong, cool brand identity. These shades, I mean, have you really seen anything like these? The shades are beautiful, but also the formulas are. They're definitely a bit more dry, so if you have like oily skin, I feel like you would really like these. Still give you a nice amount of pigment, and their packaging is super cute. Okay, Lawless, not one of my favorite brands. Honestly, I feel like most of their makeup feels cheap for the price that they're selling it at. Haven't tried a lot of their new stuff, but if I had to pick what I've tried from them, I would say that their blush is my favorite. This is the Make Me Blush Velvety Blush. This shade Vintage Love is just gorgeous. It's a muted mauve. I did layer this over the Antonym blush just to make it a little bit more cool toned. It's a matte formula. It's creamy. Pretty basic, but still a good buy, I would say. Haus Labs, my favorite for sure, is their Bio Radiant Gel Powder Highlighter. And if you watch my channel, you know I'm obsessed with this silver shade called Moonstone. Not only is this formula gorgeous because, again, it's that perfect amount of shimmer. It's definitely a little bit more dramatic than the Bareminerals highlight. The silver, so flattering on my fair olive skin. If you're olive in general and you feel like a lot of highlighters just like look like they're sitting on top of your skin, try out a silver. It's just like unreal, so beautiful. Obsessed. And their packaging, absolutely love. It just feels really luxe. My fave from Honest Beauty has got to be the Lip Powder Blush. This is the shade Frisky. This is an ultra shimmery blush. When you look at it, you're like, that's not gonna look good on my face because it actually looks like a metallic eyeshadow. But once you put it on, it's like miraculously smooth and creamy and just makes your cheeks glow. They look plump, they look beautiful, they look lifted. I just love this product. This was in my I tried every single drugstore blush video if you haven't seen that. And this, not to spoil it, but it made it top mark. From Han Cosmetics, I was gonna award it to their blush, but apparently they have changed the baby pink shade. I'm not sure because I haven't repurchased it. I'm gonna award it to the blush and to the bronzer because they're really similar formulas, either one. If you have fair skin, get the Malibu bronzer. It's the perfect tone, and then get the baby pink blush. They're really pastel and more on the sheer side, which just makes them beautiful for fair skin. These are a little bit more on the affordable side, which is great. If you can find shades that you feel like would work for your skin, they are really nice powder formulas, especially for the price. Beautiful. Next, a very luxe brand, Westman Atelier. The blush stick, I would have to award it to that. I also really like their foundation. Even though it doesn't wear the best on me, it applies really beautifully. If you have more dry skin, you might love that one. So this is the Coquette shade, which is a neutral baby pink. Just goes on beautifully. It's perfectly pigmented. Of course you get that luxe packaging, and even out of all the cream blushes I tried, this one's really pretty. It's quite dewy, but it still lasts, and the color lasts on the skin as well. From Pure Cosmetics, probably my most used bronzer of all time is this Bronzing Act Matte Bronzer Light. I mean, I really go in on this product. This and the Han Malibu bronzer are two of the lightest bronzers I've ever found that are more neutral. They don't pull very warm. So if you have fair skin and you have a hard time finding a light enough shade, these are beautiful. It also smells like chocolate. There's no shimmer. It's just a classic matte formula and it just works so well. Okay, RMS Beauty. This was another hard one. It was tied between the primer and the blush, but I guess not tied because the blush came out victorious. If you watched any of my videos, you know I am like head over heels obsessed with this. The formula, but also specifically this shade. This is the Redimension Powder Blush. These are a baked shimmery blush. The shade French Rose. Blue undertone pink, extremely flattering on my skin. It just does something to my face that no other blush has ever done. I always reach for this. If I'm not wearing this, I'm like, I should have wore it. Enough said for that, I think. And then we have Juice Beauty. This isn't talked about a ton from the brand, but their cream blushes are gorgeous. These are a bit of a dewier formula. You can tell this is also very well loved. This is the shade Flush. It's just beautiful. It gives your cheeks this glow, but it still like sticks on in a nice way where it's long wearing. Also, their liquid lipsticks, which aren't really like a traditional liquid lipstick, they're more moisturizing. Love those ones as well and wanted to mention. Gorgeous, cute, little, practical. Next, moving along into our eye category from Jones Road. Not a brand I have a great history with in terms of loving any of their products, but they just launched this new brow gel and it's my favorite from the brand. I like the clear one. It's just everything I want in a brow gel. It's the perfect amount of hold, it's not too wet, it's actually like a gel consistency and it just does the job. So, Jones Road, good job on this. Rowan Beauty, this one was pretty easy because they don't have a ton of products, but they're also iconic for like just these palettes. These are the eyeshadow palettes. My favorite is 1111 because these tones are perfect. It's what I have on my eyes today. So I have this peachy shade and then I also have this light pink textured shade on the inner corner. What's so unique about these is they're cream shadow, so they have a base in them, but within each palette you have different textures of shimmer. So this one, as you can tell, is a bit more flaky and you do have to warm these up before you use them. It's just so unique to have different textures to play with, and these are like a party in a palette. Like they're just party vibes. They're so fun, they're so sparkly. They do crease up a little bit, but that's kind of like the vibe of it. It's like, you know, I don't care that my eyeshadow is creased. I'm partying. Next, from Jane Iredale. I used to love their BB cream and then they changed the formula. Why would they do that? So anyway, my new favorite from them is their Naturally Matte eyeshadow palette. Any of their eyeshadow palettes I think are really nice. If you want something that's for everyday use, that's really easy to use, user friendly, those like all meant the same thing. They're really beautiful matte formulas. This color story is more on the warm side. I have this one on today, so I used basically almost all of these darker shades, like that peachy shade to blend things out. I used this as a liner. They're just pigmented and beautiful, and it's just something that you could find yourself using a ton. From Calorie Beauty. Love their skin tint, but they don't have a shade light enough for me, so I was like, can't make that the favorite. So I had to make the Come Hell or High Water mascara my fave. I have this one on today, although I do have lashes on. This, okay, it does have a con of the brush picks, oh. I actually think I have two favorites from this brand, but since this brush picks up too much product, I'm gonna denote it. Not the best from Calorie. We'll talk about this later. Hold on. Okay, actually, let's just talk about that now. So we're moving on to the lip category now. So my favorite from Calorie, not the mascara, even though I do like it. The Calorie, these are the glazed and infused plumping glassy lip trips. Not the shade. The shade's not my favorite, but my other favorites are in my bag and in the car, which that means that I really love them, because if my like lipstick wore off or something and I want something that has color but gloss, I absolutely always reach for these. They're not like overly scented or flavored. They're just really beautiful. They're not super thin, but they're also not super thick. Just that good like Goldilocks of lip gloss, basically. Next up, from the one and only Kjaer Weis. This was also hard to pick. Love their foundation, but I had to award it to their lipstick. This one's the shade Fearless. Any of these lipsticks, they just feel so luxe. The pigment is insane. They remind me of MAC lipsticks, but like the Clean Beauty version. This red is so gorgeous. They have so many different finishes. They just look absolutely beautiful, and I feel like you're getting the packaging, right? Beautiful packaging, they're expensive. You're also getting a beautiful formula with it, which is great. My favorite from Fit Glow Beauty is their lip serums. These are like a cult classic from them, and I get it. I finally tried them and I understand why. It's like a more balmy formula, but still has a nice gloss to it. They have so many shades. You could just reapply this and just feel so good about it. They're moisturizing, they're hydrating, they do all the good things for the lips, but still give you some really nice color. Okay, from Merit Beauty, hands down, my favorite from them are their lipsticks. This one specifically, Baby, is the perfect neutral pink. This packaging is gorgeous. Really luxe, more moisturizing, like satiny lipstick. Like they give you that glow, but they still last a really good amount of time. Can't beat these, honestly. From Youthforia, what are these called? These are their Dewy Gloss Hydrating Lip Gloss. These aren't super glossy. They're more of like a balmy, like hydrating type of product, but they give you such nice color. I really like this red one called Make Some Noise. I also love the purple one that's in my bag currently. It's just like a really pretty like orchid color. They have a little bit of shimmer in them. I just like how they stay on the lips without being too glossy or gloopy or thin. Really nice. And then I also was like, Naturium, a clean brand. They don't really have like a lot of makeup, they're skincare, but they do have this lip product, so I was like, I'll mention it. The Phyto Glow Lip Balms. They have so many shades. I really like this one in Plum. These are, if you want a really thick, like occlusive, is that a word? Just like it creates that thick layer on your lips if your lips are super dry and you want to like protect them from everything. These are so nice. From Pacifica, even out of all of their makeup, like everything I've tried from them, their perfumes, if you're like fragrance sensitive like I am, I react to a lot of additives or stuff in fragrance. They make some great options. In this one specifically, this is completely empty. This is the Neon Moon. This is my favorite. Honestly, any of them, I have them. The rest of the ones in the corner there, I have the other scents and I use those ones as well. I think this one's my favorite. I don't know how to describe it. It just smells like high end, but they're way more affordable. I also have the little hair and body mist version of this, so really great fragrance option. From Plume Science, they have this brand on Credo. My favorite is their lash curler. I've had this for what I feel like is years now. It's just effective. At first, this like little design felt super weird to me, but now any other lash curler feels weird, so I'm kind of just accustomed to this. It does the job. And I also really wanted to mention this brand, Ellis Brooklyn. Their perfumes, another one of my favorites that are more like sensitive friendly. This one, West, is one of my most used. As you can tell, it's almost like halfway done. I also have in the back there Raven, which is a bit more of a fall scent. This was like my summer scent for a while. Really reminds me of like the summer that I used it a ton. They're beautiful. They have so many scents. I have a sample of the rose one. I usually don't like floral scents, and that one is so good. I might have to get the full size. They have so many beautiful fragrances, and they also have like body mist versions. Really cool brand to check out. I would love to know in the comments below if you have, what is your favorite clean beauty product of all time? Or maybe you want to play along with me and do like your favorites out of every brand that you've tried. That would be super fun. But that was all of my favorites. I really hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you did. And watch one of these two videos next. You got two options. Pick one of them. I'll see you there. Bye.